Muhammed Hassan, Yobe South Senatorial District. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, this motion is on the demise of Malan Adamu Ciroma Madakin Fika. The Senate notes with grief the death of Malan Adamu Ciroma Madakin Fika on Thursday, 5th July 2018 at the Turkish hospital in the FCT, Abuja, at the age of 83. Born 20th November 1934 in Potiskum, Yobe State, late Madakin Fika attended Fika Elementary School in Fika, 1943 to 1945, and Potiskum Central Elementary School, 1945 to 1947. He later attended the Borno Middle School, 1948 to 1949, and the prestigious Barewa College, Zaria, 1950 to 1955, before he proceeded to the Nigerian College of Arts, Science, and Technology, also in Zaria, 1956 to 1957. The Senate notes that after graduating with an honors degree from the renowned University College, Ibadan, now University of Ibadan, in 1961, Malan Adamu Ciroma first came to the fore as a brilliant and industrious officer in the northern Nigeria civil service. He rose rapidly by catching the eyes of his superiors whilst serving both in Kaduna and the provinces. The Senate is aware that his civil service career was not limited to the northern part of the country. He had a stint in Lagos where he gathered valuable experience at the federal level. Having transferred his service to the Federal Civil Service, he became Senior Assistant Secretary, Federal Ministry of Mines and Power in 1965. Just before the bloody and unfortunate military takeover of January 15th, 1966, the then regional government set up new Nigerian newspapers, and the mood of the people in the north dictated that the newspaper should be run by Nigerians. The regime's leadership of the civil service cast around far and wide for a suitable candidate. Obina. The regime's leadership of the civil service cast around far and wide for a suitable candidate who will spearhead the campaigns to publicize the interests of the North, and Malan Adamu Ciroma was picked. As a pioneer editor, he wrote powerful, thoughtful, and always constructive editorials and articles. His command of English was uncommonly brilliant and outstanding. He eventually became the managing director of the newspaper. The Senate recalls that the new military government of Murtala Mohammed appointed him as governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria in 1975. It was common knowledge that this tenure was considered outstanding in the banking industry. It was during his time in the CBN that discerning minds began to rate him as possible future leader of this country. The Senate further notes that he voluntarily resigned as CBN governor in response to demand from his community to represent them at the Constituent Assembly 1977 to 1978. Madakin Fika was Minister of Industry 1979 to 1981, Minister of Agriculture 1981 to 1983, and Minister of Finance 1983. The Senate also notes that while in private life, he was Executive Director, United Textiles 1975-1976, and Chairman, Nigerian Textile Manufacturers Association of Nigeria 1975 to 1976. He delved into politics in 1979. He was a presidential aspirant on the National Party of Nigeria. He became third runner-up after Shehu Shagari and Maitama Sule. As he gained greater prominence in the party, he served as National Secretary of the NPN for a short period. The Senate notes that in September 1983, Malam Adamu Ciroma became the chairman of a presidential transition committee with a term of reference of making proposals on how to restructure the federal government. The Senate recalls also that when the military took over the government in 1983, Malam Adamu Ciroma was detained in Kirikiri Maximum Security Prison between January 1984 to September 1984, along with many ministers and governors. He was completely exonerated and released earlier than all of them, but the strain of incarceration left indelible injury on his psyche and outlook on life. The Senate is convinced that Malam Adamu Ciroma was one of the leaders and a member of the Group 34, G34, who fought the military regime of late General Sani Abacha. He was a founding member of the People's Democratic Party, which was at the helm of affairs in Nigeria between 1999 and 2015. The Senate also is aware that when the civilians returned for a second time in 1999, President Obasanjo reappointed him again as Minister of Finance. He brought gusto and competence to his old job, but it was during his chancery at Finance he suffered a dreadful road accident and spent a couple of months in a German hospital. Nonetheless, when he resumed work, his performance as finance minister was remarkable. He retired honorably, although still active in politics. The Senate is further aware that he became deeply religious and generous, almost to a fault. But he had no time for dilettantes and scroungers. Malam Adamu Ciroma was forthright, a generous, loving family man, very courageous, a foremost Democrat, nationalist, statesman par excellence, and easygoing. For leisure, he enjoyed his golf and was a fierce competitor. Once a couple of young men approached him saying they wanted to write a book about him so that future generations would remember him. His brusque reply, "I don't want to be remembered." Fortunately, his wish will not be granted. Malam Adamu Ciroma will be remembered for as long as this present generation lasts. The Senate is aware that he was conferred with the Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, CFR, national honors in 2003, and was awarded numerous honorary doctorate degrees from various universities, including the University of Uyo, Fellow Academic of Letters, and the University of Lagos. The Senate knows that Malam Adamu Ciroma will fondly be remembered as a seasoned journalist, astute administrator, a daring politician, and one of the Nigerian leading elder statesmen who always took strong, emulative positions on national issues. The Senate states that he led a rare and excellent exemplary lifestyle of contentment and gratitude, and will surely be missed. The Senate is convinced that this great Nigerian will be remembered for his roles in ensuring the stability and growth of our nation. He was survived by a wife, Hajia Inna Ciroma, CON, and 3 children. The Senate therefore resolves. The Senate therefore resolves to 1. Observe 1 minute silence in honor of late Malam Adamu Ciroma, the Madakin Fika. 2. Send a very high-power delegation of this hallowed chamber to condole his family and Fika Emirate in Portisco. 3. Urge the federal government of Nigeria to immortalize Malam Adamu Ciroma by naming a national monument in his honor. May Allah grant him Jannat Firdaus. Amen.